Hi, everybody. Well, it's now the second week of the fall 2020 semester. I want to open by saying thank you to all of the students who came online and introduced yourselves to me through the WebEx. It was nice to meet you. I didn't meet everybody, but I met, about half of you. And, I enjoyed the conversation, and I hope that it's gotten us off to a good start as far as, a teacher-student relationship. So feel free, if you ever have any questions, to email me. Of course, the syllabus, and most of you have done very well on that syllabus quiz. So the syllabus has the information on how to best contact me. So so the quizzes, the syllabus quiz and the pre-1800 quiz, many of you have done that already, and I'm pleased to see that the grades are really good. So keep up the good work. Everybody that's taken those quizzes have passed both of them so far, and I hope that trend continues as I look at them again later this week. Now, this week, what are we going to do? We're going to start by opening up with the Romanticism era. And so you'll see in the reading list on our class schedule that you have to read the introduction to the Romantic period, which is pages 1 through 5 of the textbook, and you have to read William Wordsworth's preface to Lyrical Ballads, where he outlines how Romantic poetry is going to be different from the poetry at the time he wrote those poems, which was in the Age of Enlightenment. Some people call it the Age of Reason. So what he's doing, and a couple of you are English majors, or at least told me you're English majors and have taken English 2111 already, or 2121 already, whatever the Brit-Lit 1 is. So you have a pretty good idea, hopefully, of Alexander Pope and Samuel Johnson and Jonathan Swift and even John Milton. So what Wordsworth's doing is saying, I'm going to write something different from those guys. I'm going to have a little experiment here. And we're going to see if I can write poetry, not in an elevated language, but in the language of men. And I want to, instead of writing about grand heroes, I'm going to write about ordinary people and the struggles they have in life, and see if people will read this or not. So, as you take the quiz, it's 20 questions. The first 10 are from the Introduction to Romanticism, and so you'll need to read that whole thing. When you get to the quiz on the preface, I have skipped a lot of sections, and so when it says go to page so-and-so, I'm not trying to insult your intelligence. I'm just trying to get you to get to the points that I want you to get out of this reading. It's a 12-page reading, but I'm only going to have you read about 7 or 8 of those pages. And the quiz will guide you as you're reading it, because this is open book. You can have the book open while you take these quizzes. So this quiz will guide you on, okay, now skip these 2 pages and go to this part of, page 55 or whatever page it is. So, a lot of what I'm having you skip over is Wordsworth looking at other poets and saying, this is what's wrong with their poetry. This is how I'm going to be different. That's not what I'm interested in. I'm interested in you getting the theories that he's putting forth. The theory that, poetry should be written in a language of the everyday person, not elevated. The poetry should be about ordinary people, not about gods and heroes and things of that nature. That rural settings are the best place for poetry. How poetry is supposed to be emotional, whereas the Age of Enlightenment, they all thought that poetry should be logical. Wordsworth saying, I'm going to try to write emotional poetry. I'm going to appeal to the heart more than the brain and see if that works. And then, of course, in the end, he's going to say, hey, readers, you will decide if my experiment was successful, and you will decide whether it was worth pursuing in the first place. And I'll go ahead and spoil it for you. We're reading Wordsworth now, almost 200 years after his death. So I think his experiment might have been a little bit successful. So that's what to do. You also have a discussion board that I've got a question posted. By the time you see this video, it'll be posted. It's a discussion, and I am going to make a separate video about discussion board postings and put that in the folder with the discussion board rubric. So go into that module as well. So not only the week 2 module, but the discussion rubric or discussion board module, whatever I've titled it. And take a look at that video and read the rubric closely. And I will discuss that rubric in that video.